Hi everyone, it's Alex from Adult Services and welcome to our Consumer Advocacy and Fraud Protection webinar, which starts today at 3 o'clock p.m. I'd like to introduce our guest speakers, Ryan Aderman and Daryl Phillips from the Attorney General's Office.
Thank you, Alex. My name is Ryan Aderman. I am a community outreach liaison for the Illinois Attorney General's Office, and I am pleased to be able to represent Attorney General Kwame Raoul and present the services of our office. Let's go over the plan for today. I will provide an overview of the Office of the Attorney General. Not everyone understands the role of the Attorney General. Many people are surprised by all that we do, and there may even be some confusion about the things that our office does not have the power to do according to the statute that created our office. We will take a minute to focus on some updates specific to the coronavirus pandemic and resources available related to COVID-19. I will also talk with you about all the ways that Illinois residents can reach out for help if they need it and what to expect when they contact the office. So moving on, we will, to start with the next slide. This is a photograph of Attorney General Kwame Raoul. He was sworn in on January 14, 2019. But previously, he was a state senator for 14 years. In the Senate, he passed laws on criminal justice, financial oversight, and healthcare services. He brings that experience to his role as Attorney General. This is a constitutional office, one of only 6. The Attorney General is the chief legal officer or the lawyer for the state. And the Attorney General protects the public interest of all Illinois residents. Think of it in 3 major areas of responsibility: to advocate on behalf of Illinois consumers and residents, to litigate, which means to take necessary legal action, and to work with the elected officials as they legislate to create new laws and rules. We cover the state with main offices in Springfield and Chicago. We also have 6 regional offices. In normal times, we can have you come to the nearest office. However, you can get help through one of several hotlines that we have for the public based on the type of resource you need or the problem you may be having. The addresses and phone numbers are on the handout on the screen that you can see, or we can email them to you. A link to our outreach page on the website is also available. Our website is also a source for information for all of our services. Plus, you can submit online complaint forms for many situations. We also have all of our brochures and publications available to download. Lastly, there are 9 more people like me on the team of community outreach liaisons who can do presentations, staff resource fairs, and meet with the public. You could think of the Office of the Attorney General as a large legal office. We have more than 750 attorneys, investigators, advocates, and other personnel. The office is organized into what we call divisions that focus on different types of law or service areas. Some that the public is most likely to encounter are listed here, and we will go into a bit more detail based on what this group wants to hear. In general terms, the office focuses heavily on consumer protection. We also have attorneys dedicated to protecting civil rights. Some of you may be familiar with the Chicago Police Department consent decree work that is underway. But there are also rights of military service members and veterans, individuals with disabilities, plus special communities such as children, women, and older citizens. We have services for those who have been the victim of a crime that can help them respond to and rebuild from the traumatic impact. Our office requires all charities and nonprofits to register and comply with financial reporting rules. We promote open and honest government through uploading rules that allow the public to participate in open meetings and to access information as part of the public record. We help ensure that consumers know their rights regarding student lending, mortgages, and other financial dealings. This includes public utilities like your electric and gas providers. Let's look next at what brings people to us. The Consumer Protection Division covers the majority of the work we do directly with the public. We keep a record of all complaints that individuals make each year and compile a list of the top 10. Home repair and remodeling complaints, which are always high, stayed in at the top spot. Motor vehicle complaints moved up to number 2 last year. Our cars and homes are usually the largest purchases that we make, so that makes sense. Our office also responds to complaints about consumer debt, identity theft, student loans, and various scams. The list is important because it lets our attorneys not only respond to issues, but also spot trends. We encourage everyone to contact our office if you believe you have been scammed or treated unfairly in a consumer transaction. Responding to the COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 concerns and issues. Let's talk about some specifics for where we are now. As we adjust to the circumstances around the COVID-19 pandemic, the Office of the Attorney General has responded on many fronts. We have kept our offices open with limited staff, with most working remotely for the safety of our colleagues and the public. That said, we are still fighting to protect Illinoisans and to inform the public. We have created a page on the website for coronavirus information and includes ways the public can report COVID-19 price gouging and fraud, civil rights violations, or public utility shutoffs, which are prohibited under the executive order. We also have several documents to provide guidance on topics that have become more relevant during these times. All this is on our website if you go to illinoisattorneygeneral.gov/COVID-19. COVID-19 concerns and issues. During COVID-19, the Attorney General's office is focusing more resources to support individuals on 3 fronts. The Civil Rights Bureau is monitoring reports of hate crimes and discrimination. The Workplace Rights Bureau is handling complaints regarding workplace health and safety. We also receive many questions about how employees can stay safe at work. You can report unsafe or unsanitary conditions. Consumer Protection Division has fielded thousands of online complaints and calls about price gouging and fraud. We are warning consumers to avoid scams around products that claim to cure or prevent coronavirus. There have also been reports of fraud around the CARES Act and stimulus checks. Our offers to fill out loan applications for a fee so that the borrower may not receive full benefit. Unfortunately, this pandemic has brought out harmful attitudes. The Attorney General condemned discrimination and hate crimes against members of the Asian communities in a news release in April. Our state has laws that prohibit discrimination and hate crimes and gives the Attorney General's office the ability to investigate and, where warranted, litigate. Please report any incidents so we can review them for potential legal violations and track them. We have been coordinating with state's attorneys and law enforcement entities to ensure that rights are upheld and discrimination does not go unchecked. So far, we have received nearly 2,000 reports. We also received many questions about how employees can stay safe at work. You can report unsafe or unsanitary conditions. More details are on our website about how to report and how to get information on benefits and rights. The next topic that we wanted to bring to your attention is how to protect yourself from fraud and scams related to COVID-19. In the beginning, we received mostly complaints about unfair pricing and fraudulent products. Now, as of this week, we are at more than 2,200 complaints. More recently, we are following the trend of email scams tied to the Federal CARES Act and the government payments. Be careful about phone calls or email offers to get more government assistance. We also are warning about contributions or donations to organizations that are not legitimate. We have a hotline to our Charitable Trust Bureau and a website where you can check to see if a charity is registered with our office. Many people are concerned about their rent or mortgage obligations or other financial debt or loans. The Attorney General's office cannot provide legal advice to individuals. Homeowners, tenants, and borrowers should consult with an attorney to receive advice tailored to their specific circumstances. We do have several documents prepared to explain resources that are available. For example, the CARES Act offers temporary relief for repayment of some types of loans. It also puts a hold on some foreclosure proceedings and halts eviction for non-payment for some types of rental properties. The governor also has included provisions for renters facing eviction in the statewide executive order. When it comes to staying at home safely, remember that utilities are prohibited from disconnecting consumers from service during COVID-19. Contact the Illinois Attorney General about disconnections or disputed service. Details on these topics are available to review and download. You should always seek legal advice from an attorney to work through your situation. Common scams and how to avoid them. This flyer that is on this slide is one of our most common flyers, tips to prevent consumer fraud. We will look more closely at imposter scams where the person is not who they say they are, telephone and online marketing scams that present one set of circumstances that don't prove to be true. There are home repair scams where experts don't finish the job or deal fairly. Even when you want to do good, it's possible to get burned by an organization that does harm instead of helping. We'll also touch on healthcare scams that prey on our personal conditions, often when individuals are in no condition to pay close attention. Imposter scams. Maybe what happened, as an example, even if you can't, there's likely another imposter scam that has happened to you or someone you know. Let's talk more about the most prevalent imposter scams. You could get a call from someone or some automated recording saying they are from the IRS or Social Security office and you owe money. These scam artists will spoof the phone number so it looks like they are calling either from somewhere close in your neighborhood or from Washington, D.C., but a lot of the times they use an area code that's similar to yours just to get you to answer the phone. Or you may be contacted by a phony debt collector or credit card company that makes a threat of arrest if you don't pay. The scams can play on our emotions. After the death of someone close to you, scammers may call to say the deceased owed money that you are responsible for paying. You could get the grandparent scam where they say your grandchild needs money immediately. We are even seeing a rise in the sweetheart scam, where someone starts up an online romance and takes financial advantage of someone who thinks they are in a truthful relationship. We can stop the scam with these tips. First rule is just hang up. You can let unknown calls go to voicemail. Never agree to buy gift cards or wire money. Check the story out by calling the person or company at a phone number you know is real. Lastly, report these fraud attempts to your local law enforcement and the Attorney General. Next, telephone and online scams. Telephone and online scams can use many of the same imposter scam techniques. In many cases, the goal is identity theft along with a financial loss. You may have encountered calls or emails offering computer tech support. They are actually trying to get remote access to your computer to search for information that will allow access to your financials. Similarly, you might receive an email that appears to be from a bank or credit card company with a link to update your account info. This is another way to fool you into giving up your login info. Remember, anything that sounds too good to be true probably is. It's not free if you have to pay for a prize, trial, or shipping. You can try to stop the calls by registering your phone number with the Do Not Call registry. This won't stop every nuisance call. However, it can severely reduce the number. Again, just hang up or ignore the report. Home repair scams. Our homes are often our most valuable asset. That can make one an easy target for home repair scams. It can often start with a knock on the door or an offer for discounted repairs, especially after a natural disaster like a flood or storm. The Illinois Attorney General's office tracks home repair scams and has seen it rise to the top of the claims filed. Be wary of door-to-door or telephone marketing. Look for established contractors with recommendations you can trust. We have a brochure on our website that contractors by law are required to provide. It states the elements that should be in every contract, covers payments and protections when subcontractors are involved. If you have questions or believe that you may have been defrauded by a contract, we have a team of advocates and attorneys who can help you get matters sorted out if mediation is required. We also investigate these claims to determine if our office can prosecute or sue. One thing we really recommend is that with the home repair scams, you go with someone local who you've either seen the work that they've done on a neighbor's house, or you just have gotten many referrals from people that you know and trust, and that could go a long way. Next would be the charity scams. Not every organization that claims to be good is worthy of a donation. Some organizations will use deceptive techniques and high-pressure tactics to convince you to provide your financial information or cash to make a donation. All charitable organizations that solicit or hold donations in Illinois are required to register with the Attorney General Kwame Raoult's office. Members of the public can check the online database, the online charitable database at charitableViewer.ilattorneygeneral.net to search if a charity or private foundation is registered and complain with reporting requirements. The database provides financial information such as assets, income, and annual financial reports. Do your research. Give to organizations that you are confident in and don't hesitate to say no. Thanks if a solicitation does not feel right. Healthcare scams. Our health is important and fragile. As such, we can fall prey to healthcare scams that promise cure-all remedies or promote a scientific breakthrough. Scammers may offer free medical products or devices, or they tell a consumer that upfront payment is required for a product that they don't subsequently provide. Or similarly, they send a product with the promise that they will work with the patient's insurance for payment, but the product is not covered and the patient is on the hook for the payment. The most important thing to remember about the Healthcare Bureau is that there are advocates who are trained in medical records and billing terminology available to help mediate when you believe you are a victim of healthcare fraud. The assistance begins with a simple phone call. Help from the Attorney General's office. Let's now move into what you can expect when you contact the Attorney General. This chart describes the typical process. You first contact our office. Next, we review your situation, and then if possible, we work toward a resolution. We can take a closer look at what happens at each step. The Office of the Attorney General provides several means for the public to file a complaint during normal times. The office at the Thompson Center in downtown Chicago and the Springfield office are set up with staff, now working remotely, who can take complaints and answer questions. We also have regional offices throughout the state. We have several telephone hotlines to report specific types of fraud or other inquiries. Still, the most convenient method, especially now, may be to fill out a complaint online at the website illinoisattorneygeneral.gov. If you require translation to complete the form, we can connect you with a person who could respond in your language. All claims or complaints will be reviewed to see if we are able to help or if we can refer to another agency. If it can be moved forward in our office, then it gets assigned a number to open a case and is given to an advocate. This part of the process usually happens relatively quickly. There are advocates that handle home repair or auto-related complaints. For example, after collecting the necessary information and documentation, a complaint can be assigned to a mediator. The mediator will look into the details and contact the business or organization. He or she will attempt to bring about a fair resolution. Not every case can be resolved, and the process can involve several weeks or months communicating with the business and reporting back to the consumer. Even when a case cannot be resolved, it is important to make complaints so that our attorneys can spot patterns of fraud and uncover potential cases for more legal action. Every complaint that gets reported could potentially help someone avoid getting scammed. For workplace rights and civil rights complaints, our attorneys are also collecting, tracking, and following up on those reports. Then they work with the individuals and coordinate with other agencies or law enforcement as required. You may experience some delay in response times as we have had to adjust to working remotely with reduced operations. We value all the reports that we receive and are making efforts so that we respond to them in a timely manner. This slide right here is key contacts. These are the hotlines for some of our most frequently used services. We have a resource directory that lists these and many others. This is a good slide to copy down these phone numbers in case you ever need them. if you are looking for, if we can do this presentation for another group, or if you'd like a presentation on another topic, please send an email to outreach@ilattorneygeneral.gov. Next will be questions and answers. If there's no questions at this time, thank you for allowing us to provide this presentation. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact our office. Thank you.
And thank you, Ryan, for presenting this information for everybody. And stay tuned for other programs at the library. We have on social media like Facebook, and check our website for any additional information. And everybody have a great afternoon. And thank you for coming to today's live webinar.